back to the show. We're back on YouTube. It's been a week since we've been back on YouTube, so we finally got our PC fixed. So I'm back on my regular setup. We have the mic, we have everything situated, so it's gonna be a great time. I hope you guys had a good week since the last time we've been on YouTube, and I hope you guys are having a good 4th of July weekend. I know for those that live in my area or wherever the heat wave is, please stay cool. Please drink water. Please do all of the things because it's no joke out here. I did not go outside much besides to get groceries and the like. So, yeah, definitely please stay hydrated. So, for those that may not know what the show is about, welcome to AnimeInkArt Live Talks, where we talk with different creators in the community about their journey in content creation and how we can support each other better in the community. So, let's get a few people in here. Let's get it started. We always love when we're on the regular setup to put the link in our group chats, sometimes in our discords and everything like that, so people can watch back or if they want to join during the show. So definitely it's going to be an amazing show today, and let's introduce our lovely guests. So today we have Georgia, also known as GagbodJan, on the platform, and they are an amazing writer, creator, and comic publisher. And they also are the creator of the comic series known as Makeshift, a new kind of unofficial Minecraft comic. So definitely it's going to be a great time talking about the series and talking about their journey and doing everything that they're doing. And let's get them on the show and let's get it started. Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Surviving the heat.
For sure. At least happy Friday, at least.
Of course. And again, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you for having me. It's awesome that you take the time to give indie creators a time to talk about their own stuff and use your platform and your audience to share other people's things.
Yeah, of course. It's been a fun experience having everybody on and learning about all the things that you guys do. You guys are very talented. And for those that may not know who you are and what you do, definitely introduce yourself.
Sure. So my name is Georgia, or you can go by GagbodJan. That's pretty much my handle on all my social medias at this point. So mainly I'm primarily a writer, independent comic creator. I, of course, have tried to draw my own comics, but I'm not very good at it, and they just wouldn't get done. So at this point, I'm finding artists and hiring them to draw the stories I've written. I'm still kind of like just getting started in it. I've always been a writer. I've always wanted to tell stories, but this is kind of the first point in my life where I'm like, I'm going to go all in and make this a full-time job, career, and go all in on indie publishing.
Yeah, definitely. And I wanted to start off with your background in writing, because you've been doing writing way before you got really into the comic and learning about everything when it comes to the business of it. So how long have you been writing? What got you into writing in general?
Yeah, man, I've been writing since I was a kid. Probably most writers' stories. So I've always loved it, and I never did it professionally. Anyway, it was always just a side hobby, and in a sense, I've played around in other mediums. Like when I was in high school, I was super into music. Majority of my working career has been in film and video production. And again, I wanted to do my own independent short films and stuff, as well as work at a company. So in a sense, like film and drawing were a vehicle for my writing. And so that's kind of where it started. And so mostly I've worked in film production since finishing college, doing video editing and things like that. And let me think. So that's that's basically, so I've just been writing on the side my whole life. And it's now that I'm deciding, let me try to go in and just kind of be the writer for once. Because in the past, when I've wanted to do my own projects, I wanted to do all of it. So in a way, it was good because it pushed me to learn different kinds of skills. It pushed me to learn film and editing. It pushed me to learn how to draw. But this time, I was like, let me just be the writer and let other people who are better at art than me handle that side and see if that goes somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like you're definitely doing a good job, sharing the progress and sharing everything that's going on. There's a lot of fun stuff going on, definitely. And I know that you do art as well. I know you have artists for the comic we definitely talk about that. But I do see that you still love drawing. You still have like the sketches that
Yeah.
is able to be revamped now, especially if you're an artist. But a
Yes.
lot of like the original ideas for your comic as well was for your own art before it's you got an
Hmm.
artist. So and I also saw like some of your sketchbooks as well. Like this, I really like the different um forms of art that you do. So I want to ask, what is your background in art? Even though I know like you may not do as much, but you still draw from time to time.
For sure. So of course I liked to draw as a kid, but it wasn't until 2010. I had just moved to California. I moved in with my dad and family out here, and I was going to start community college. I think that fall. And since I basically had the whole summer to do whatever I wanted, I was like, let me finally like learn to draw. And man, it was like the early 2010s. So I got a lot. So really self-taught. I took like a couple art classes in community college, and even at that time, I thought, oh, maybe I could get into like storyboarding for animation. Maybe I would want to go in that direction with my life. And but yeah, I just like practiced and watched a lot of YouTube videos. I don't know if you remember the early, like the 2010 era of YouTube, and especially art and comics and manga.
Mhm.
Mostly manga. I was in that space, and that was like its own little culture and hub. So I was really into that at the time. And but yeah, I just kept practicing and drawing on my own all throughout school. But then once I realized like filmmaking, yeah, once I realized filmmaking was where I was trying to go, I kind of let my art stay sketchy and loose instead of really trying to refine it. But I still liked the idea of like sketching storyboards and things like that. And but yeah, I haven't drawn. And then like 2020, actually, I kind of came back to art because I finally got my hands on a digital tablet. And so that's when I was like, oh, let me try and draw my own comics now. And but yeah, so it's always kind of been there on the side. But again, it was just a way to do writing still.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely, I just think it's always fun when I know that people have a variety of different things that they do before they get to like their main project. And I saw your recent video, where you talked about like the business side of things, like what it took to
Mhm.
start your business before, you could like to put everything together. I really do appreciate how you did your Kickstarter as well. We'll definitely talk about that
Thanks.
a little bit later on. I have screen share, so I'm able to share like the Kickstarter. You can talk about the tiers and everything like that. And I wanted to ask what was the process? Because I saw that you shared a journey of how you quit your job to do the comics more full time and like self publishing, and how that's been and like creating your business. So what was that step for you to like make that jump to do that? Because I know it can be very
Mm.
scary, it's not easy, and everything like that.
Yeah. Oh man. So that leap in terms of leaving my job to do this, that happened just this past February. So I'm still just a few months kind of out of work and going into this. Um, Let me think. Actually, oh gosh, where do I start with that? I mean, so I've been working this job all of last year, and it was because I had actually been laid off from a previous job. Before, I had been a video editor at a nonprofit organization, but they had some financial issues, so they had to lay off a lot of people. And then I got the job I got uh, shortly after that, actually, surprisingly, because I thought that was when people were starting to say, ooh, the job market's getting kind of bad. And I was kind of lucky to have fallen into that particular job. And it was a complete pivot from anything related to video, really. So I worked that through all of 2025, and it was a lot of work because I think they were a startup, so they were pretty understaffed, and I was working 6, 7 days a week, and definitely kind of explain, definitely starting to feel the burnout, but pushing through it. And it wasn't until around December-ish of last year that I started to think to myself, you know what, I can't stay here. One, the work demand and what they were asking was just kind of becoming unreasonable and not, I didn't think was fair, especially for the pay we were getting. And it wasn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted to take my life and career in a different direction. And pretty much, I think I spent all of 2025. I didn't have any time or energy to even think about writing or comics. I had already started. Makeshift was already in production then, because at the time I thought it was just going to be this one-off self-published project. But pretty much all of 2025, I just had no energy, completely got away from creative stuff the way, which was kind of funny because I saw this quote was saying, like, if you are creative, actually what you should do is stop being creative, go get the normal safe job, like take it away
Yeah.
and see how it is. And if you still feel that calling to go back to it, that's probably where you need to be. So I think that happened to me because I think the first vacation I took last year was in October. Didn't take really any vacation days until then. And when I had like those 2 weeks off to myself, I was just right back in creative mode. And one, it was refreshing to have a break, and two, I just felt like so much more myself and at peace back to my creative stuff. And I just realized how much that job had taken out of me. But yeah, I kind of hit my final straw earlier this year. I had started thinking about leaving around December, but I was like, okay, let me bide my time, save up, just put my head down and work, save up, and maybe push till March or April to leave. But it ended up happening a lot sooner, and I resigned sooner. I at least had tried to give them a heads up sooner than that to be ready to get out by March. But even though you put in your 2 weeks notice, sometimes companies don't have to respect that, and they just decide to go ahead and terminate me like right after, even though I'd already put in my 2 weeks notice.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been at this since. But even when I was in the office and working, my mind was I was already thinking about what does my day to day routine need to look like if I'm going to take this leap. I want to make sure I stay consistent and not fall into a rut. It's very easy when you don't have a job or structure to kind of fall off. And I mean, I was just already daydreaming about what is my life going to look like when I get out of this place. So it was a blessing in disguise to actually get terminated quickly after resigning. So yeah, so I've been at this since February.
No, I definitely understand that because I'm in the where you were, where I am still working full time in that, and I totally understand. Sometimes you're thinking about what are you doing after this, what has to be done after this, especially if you have a brand like you said. So it's definitely very relatable, and I'm glad that like you found like that you figured out it was a blessing in disguise for you personally, and like for your growth and your journey. Because as I've seen, it's only up from here, from here for you.
I certainly hope so. For sure, like emotionally, mentally, it
Yeah,
feels only up from here. I do also want to advocate that like I'm not encouraging like
of course.
if you have goals, like you don't have to just quit your job to do this full time.
Yeah.
For a while, I wanted to just have the full time job and do comics on the side, because kind of in a way I'd accomplished my goal of getting a steady job in video production and something creative. And so it's like now it's like, well, now that I have this, maybe on the side I can publish books on the side, but still have a day job, and I can just do both. There's nothing wrong with having both. It's just that particular the job I was recently at was just like it was too much. I was too burned out,
Oh
and I
yeah.
didn't have the time to have both in my life. It was
Yeah.
just being in that place 6 days a week.
I advocate that as well because like depends on where you're taking and what your brand is. Sometimes you want to have that, like for me, I want to have that steady income while I figure
Exactly.
things out. So I always encourage people like don't just leave right away. Like, have a game plan if that's what you choose to do. Because people are on two ends of the spectrum, especially when it comes to creating. Some people are still working their jobs, it's perfectly fine. They have that balance, they have a job that like fulfills them and they have that space or they're able to talk about it with their management. And some people are in the space where they want the income, they're fine, they're able to find a balance. Some people are burnt out because their job doesn't allow them, and sometimes that means you have to leave. You can find another job if you want to, but if that you end up not, then that's also fine. So I advocate for that as well.
Yeah, I realize also the benefit. I will also say to those of you, if you want to keep your job and do your art on the side, the benefit is that because you have a steady paycheck coming from somewhere else, it allows you to make decisions for the sake of the project and your passion versus like, oh my god, I got to make an economical decision and maybe you have to make something so the project makes money. But if you don't have to worry about that, then you can really just do your passion project and you don't have to care about money in the sense I'm sure a lot of artists want to approach things that way. So yeah, not totally down. Like no shame in anyone who wants to keep their job and do art on the side. I was like, actually, it's like the best of both worlds. So,
Yeah, of course.
but I'm
And
also glad I'm doing this.
of course.
Because yeah, I mean, because last year when I had been laid off from my other job, I thought, you know what, okay, while I'm looking for a job, let me go more into content creation or making more YouTube videos and things like that. And but then as soon as I got this job, okay, it was like, okay, I got a steady paycheck coming in, it's stability, and I don't know, I just started to feel like I was treating my art and my writing like I don't know, a mistress in a sense where it's kind of like you go through a bad breakup and then you toxic ex or something, and then you go hang out with the person who's just a friend, who's nice, who's always been great to you, and you build a connection with them and you're starting to like them, but then as soon as the ex calls up, you go running back to the ex and forget this person who was treating you well the whole time. And I feel like that's how I've been treating my writing and my creative pursuits. It's like it's only there when the other thing doesn't work out, and as soon as I get another opportunity, I run away from it and get caught up not only just in having a job, but actually kind of getting complacent and not putting the time and money and effort into my storytelling and my writing as much as I want to. So I was like, let me just commit to this. Let's just see. Like, I might as well now than later.
Yeah, of course, definitely. And I definitely wanted to get into Makeshift. And
Mm-hmm.
from what I've seen when I did the research is that originally you wanted it to be a novel, but then you realized like based on like your love for Minecraft and what you wanted the story to be, you decided it needed to be a comic. So I want to ask about the story of Makeshift because it was a few years in the making from what I've seen, and then
Yeah.
finally you were able to. So what was the push for Makeshift? What was the inspiration to start?
Oh my goodness. So the idea for Makeshift went back even when I was in college, around when I had like I first started playing Minecraft in college and then just enjoyed it so much and thought, oh, the way the world is like, oh, there's so much freedom here. Like, what if I made my own stories? And I think I was also finding about web comics and things. And so I one just realized, okay, let me make up my own story about Minecraft. And at first, it was just going to be something you could put online for free because you didn't think you could publish it whatsoever. And then around, I think 2018, I think around 2018, I discovered that there were unofficial Minecraft books, and this is mostly in the kids section. If you go to like any library or bookstore, and it's people. First, it was I think an author. He wrote just a straight novel about a character who I think got trapped in the world of Minecraft or something. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And so I went and looked into this and found how Mojang had these guidelines that allowed for fans to use the Minecraft property for their own stuff as long as you kind of follow their rules and don't try to like use their branding and make sure it's clear that you are separate from their official products. And so I was like, oh my god, like one, it's like I can publish fan fiction basically and actually publish it, not just something you do on the side and put it up for free. Um, and so I started writing and writing, and pretty majority of the story, like I was enjoying having so much fun with how it was turning out. But still, part of me just wondered, like, because it's Minecraft, it's also one. It's kind of weird to explain the physics of the world of Minecraft are just not normal, and how do you explain that in writing? But I think just visually, it would help people understand the story better because I wanted to do something a little bit different than a lot of the Minecraft stories and comics I have seen. And so I felt like, yeah, it had to be visual just to go ahead and catch people's attentions. And I know, like, I know it's not like, comics are like just easier to just visually. It's almost like watching. I mean, it's like watching a movie. It's just easier to absorb, um, more so than writing than just prose.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely, especially for Minecraft because there's so many things that you can do in the game
Yeah,
from what I've heard. So
exactly.
I feel like visually and definitely I've seen the art and like I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense why that's right.
Yeah. And I mean, deep down, I wanted to be a comic first, but at the time, I was thinking of like, well, I just trying to figure out how I was going to draw it if I was going to do it. And I can find some. I have some sketches. I probably have some digital art attempts in there somewhere in my hard drive. and it just wasn't the way I wanted. I wanted it to have like really cool art, and I was like, my skills just not where I wanted to be to do that. So yeah, so I was like, okay, so it'll just have to be prose and be a book. But then anyway, so yeah, fast forward to 2023, I finally just said, what if I just find and hire an artist? Because also too, I had like, I have a job now. I could probably afford this before where I couldn't. And so I went looking on ArtStation. Really great. I really like the ArtStation a lot. And I happened to find Danny May's portfolio, and that's who's the artist for Makeshift right now. And not only one, it was two things. One, I of course need to find an artist who's good at sequential art, and then also hopefully find someone who's done some form of Minecraft fan art so they kind of get where I'm going. And Danny Mays, she had both on her portfolio. Not She had done like a short black and white one shot comic strip of Minecraft, and I was like, okay, this is it. And then shortly, I just impulsive, I just like reached out and said this, and she responded very quickly, and yeah, started talking about it then. So this project started in like 2023, actually.
That's awesome, and definitely, I wanted to talk about the story. Like for those that are interested and want to know what the story is about, definitely you can share it now.
Yes, yes. So for the record, I've tried to keep the story kind of a little bit under wraps,
Okay.
because of I don't know. I'm just so happy with the way I want to go about it. But really, so when you start off, it's a story. Main character wakes up, surviving the world of Minecraft. For me, the twist kind of starts is when my main character, whose name is Kit, encounters another player. Because if when you play Minecraft by yourself, it's just you. You're the only player. And so anyway, so Kit meets this other character, and the character basically invites her to join her guild. And so this kind of moves the story away from just Kit, and also starts to show how we'll start to expand in the world of Minecraft. But basically, I just took inspiration from a lot of isekai anime, like Sword Art Online was my biggest one. I'm such a Sword Art Online fan. I know it's got its ups and downs, but I love that show.
No, yeah, it's so good despite the ups and downs. I know what you're talking about.
But Sword Art Online, Grimgar, A
Mhm.
Fantasy in Ash, both like that isekai, surviving in a fantasy medieval type of setting. I took inspiration from those. I got the idea of guilds, and I just like basically threw that into the world of Minecraft, and so it's that in the world of Minecraft, and then also I wanted it to be like Minecraft is not a game they're stuck in; it's a world, and so it's actual like if you get scratched by a zombie, you get scratched and there's blood. If you get hit by an arrow from a skeleton, you're gonna get hit by an arrow with a skeleton. So I wanted to make that. That's kind of where I wanted to make it a little more PG-13 and not just a story for kids or all ages. And also that's different because the Minecraft brand they have to be all ages. So I wanted to do my own thing. But yeah, that's the gist of the inspiration for the story. And so I guess the overall story, yeah. So the overall story is Kit surviving the world, joins a guild, and the guild she starts, they're like new. They're just starting out, and they are trying to become a more established guild amongst other ones that are more famous, more accomplished, and they're trying to they have to go compete in like some tournament later on to do that.
Okay, yeah, it definitely sounds like I saw the video where you're talking about the inspirations, and I was like, these are some good ones. And you had like Hack Sign on there
Oh,
too, which is
yes.
a really good series. I was like, okay, all right, I'm locked
Dot,
in.
yeah, Dot Hack Sign was like my childhood. That was what Toonami,
Mhm,
Cartoon Network.
mhm.
I loved it a lot as a kid, and it was only I guess when it was only later when I saw Sword Art Online, because I think I hadn't really kept up with anime as much in years, and I saw Sword Art Online. I'm like, oh my god, this is everything I wanted Dot Hack Sign to be. But I still appreciate Dot Hack Sign because even though it was different, it was a slower pace kind of character study, more about what's it like to be a gamer and gaming in real life. It was still like a good show, so fun.
Yeah, definitely. And before I get to the Kickstarter, because that'll be the next thing we talk about for Makeshift, I love the fact that like you show like how you try to keep a balance because like I've seen that you've realized like in order to do the things you're doing, sometimes you have to pour into yourself as well as into what you do. I've seen like, your fitness journey and then like your wellness journey on top of like your consistency with doing your writing for what you're doing. So I want to ask, how has that journey been for you, particularly like your wellness and fitness, and for the
Yeah.
brand, and what inspired you to document it? Because I know it's not easy sometimes documenting those things, but like you consistently do it, and I'm sure it's an inspiration for people that do get to watch it. So
Oh,
what
hope so.
inspired you
Yeah.
to share that journey online?
Sure. In terms of just sharing my fitness journey, I think I just got inspired by seeing other influencers on either TikTok or Instagram, and so I just started filming and trying to make reels like they did. I'm like, oh, that's like fun. I want to do that. Um, and so really, I was focused on just gym content. And when I started even just making reels for Instagram, I kind of had avoided it for so long. And one, I didn't like editing in Instagram, but then when I was like, oh, you can edit somewhere else and then upload it, I was like, okay, that makes it actually easier. And so, yeah, I just started making reels kind of just to put them out there and to have fun with it. And that was what, 2024. Um, but anyway, but actually, I can speak to like my fitness journey. It was mainly obviously just trying to take my health more seriously as I get older. But then I realized now too, back in 2025, I wasn't being as creative as I wanted to be. All I was doing was going to work and going to the gym after. And that was just because I was like, I just want to try and get my physique to a better place, try to be as healthy as possible. And it was in focusing so much on my gym and fitness, that actually I think it's kind of what also gave me the confidence to quit my job, because I felt like I was starting to improve myself, uh, feeling healthier. Your mindset, like when you go on like a kind of fitness journey, weight loss journey, your mindset, your discipline, you change. And one of the things changed, like your standards start to go up, not just for yourself, but for other things. And I just realized like I want better for myself. I want a better, I just want more for myself. And this job is like the opposite of what's better for me. And so, yeah, a big part of my fitness journey actually inspired me to get back into creative work, because I built so much discipline with my fitness. I actually improved my discipline with my creative art, because I feel like I've always been one of those creatives. I have a story, I get to a certain point, I hit a block, and then I start thinking about the next story idea, and then I pivot and get attracted by the new shiny story idea. And so I just never finished anything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and so actually building some much better, I mean, I was already pretty disciplined with the gym, but so really it was more my diet and things, but building better discipline in fitness, um, made me appreciate, I don't know, it just pushed me to be like, you know what, if I can be this disciplined for myself, then I need to be and can be more disciplined with my art and finishing a story. So that's kind of where it all started. So yeah, it started just for fun, and I was already doing fitness stuff on the side. And yeah, and then I just realized, I think also too is important to talk about, because I know create, and me too, like a lot of creatives, we're sitting at our desk and just working, and it's so, in general for people, it's so easy to forget to take care of your health, even if it's just going for a walk for 30 minutes. But getting that exercise helps clear your mind, helps your mind feel better, helps you be healthier, not just look better, but healthier, sleep better, which helps clear up your mind so you can keep coming up with new ideas. And yeah, I think, yeah, just the habits of fitness have of starting to see how it can spill over into other parts of my life. And honestly, it's like fitness and my comics is like my only two things right now. If I'm not doing one, I want to be doing the other. I wish I could do them at the same time. So
No, I definitely understand that, and I do applaud you for it, and I applaud you for even sharing it, because, like some creators have mentioned, sometimes they see the end product, they don't see all the stuff that you do behind the scenes. And definitely, I definitely want to talk about the Kickstarter now.
sure.
And one thing I want to like, there's so many things I'm happy about with your Kickstarter,
Oh, thank
and
you.
it shows like because I've seen like what you mentioned in terms of like your research, for your business, and then you really want to like pay special attention like when you're doing things to do things the way that you want to do it in the right way. um, I love the fact of like how your branding kind of matches like the Minecraft, just down from like tiers. I saw like
Okay.
the different tiers, as well as I think it's very interesting because that you were able to have the book fully finished as
Hmm.
well, and that the Kickstarter is for just expenses to make sure that you are able to print everything and everything like that, which is not to say rare, but like I can say is very rare to see that is already made, and then just the expenses. You even have like a breakdown of like how, what everything goes in a chart. And I will say not every Kickstarter is able to break it down that easy for people to see. So I have to commend you for that, because that was
Oh.
for me that's really smart, that what you did. So
No, thank you. I appreciate that. I took inspiration from other Kickstarters. That's a big part of. I mean, I feel like I've in a sense been prepping for this Kickstarter for a couple years, because I could make an account and you can like start making your page and everything before actually you don't have to make it live. You just have it as like a draft. And so I just had that page and I've just come back to it and added to it and played with it. And so, but yeah, I mostly took inspiration, and part of that I was researching and looking at other Kickstarters and what were they doing and what were they saying on their pages, and it's like, what do I want to that I liked, especially Kickstarters that I liked, and so I was basically stealing ideas from them, and like, okay, how do they get their successful funding? What kind of information do they put out there? And then, yeah, having the book finished for me was just as much about really about for sure about trust, because like I said, even though I've been writing for so long, this is my first venture really, and my first published work, and it's tricky in anything, a first timer of anything. You just don't know. I don't have that track record built up yet, so it's like, let's go ahead and finish it and at least have that base level of trust there. It's like, hey, the project's done, so it's not like I need you to fund me so I can finish this and then get the artist to do it. um, but yeah, that was just a big part of me and personally and how I wanted to do my Kickstarter. And everyone's different. Some people need to do the Kickstarter to raise extra funds to do things. But yeah, honestly, if you're like in a position where you can finish as much of it as possible, it just helps. Hopefully, helps make it more successful.
yeah, definitely. And I think because I just came back to the app, they're not letting me screen share right now, but
Oh,
we'll definitely still talk about
no, no worries.
the Kickstarter. And for people that want to know like the different tiers, you can definitely talk about that now, because I like how like you kind of base it off of like the game and stuff, like
Oh
you got
yeah,
like Emerald, Iron.
I
Like
had fun with that.
I really love that. So I definitely wanted you to talk about like the tiers and like what you're focusing on for the rewards for people that want to back the Kickstarter.
For sure. Yeah, I had fun coming up with those. I was like, oh yeah, let's make it Kickstarter related or Minecraft related. Um, so yeah, so the tiers, starting at $5. That's just to get the digital PDF. It's great if you're kind of new and you just want to see what the comic's about, be part of it, but you're not sure how much, if you want to fully invest in it, just grab that one. It's a quick one. Um, Next one I think is $15, and that's where you get a physical copy and a digital copy of the comic, basic ones. And also, what I made sure to do with all the reward tiers is go ahead and include the shipping cost. So yeah, so whatever the price you're seeing is the price you're gonna pay. Like the shipping's included, and that's why that way. Yeah, the which one? 15, I think is stone. I think it's just stone, because in Minecraft, stone is like the next or you want to get to build your tools. Um, After 15, it jumps to 25. And 25 is where you can have your choice of either, there's two 25s actually. There's gold, which is where
Yeah.
you get the standard comic issue plus the digital PDF, as well as a pocket notebook and an art print, which is just a 8.5, which is just a version of the front cover, which has not been revealed yet. Artist is still
Mm,
working on that one.
okay.
And then there's Emerald, which is also $25, and that's where you can choose to get a variant cover, and you can see the variant cover on the page, but it's all the same stuff. So the split between them is just the standard versus variant cover. At I think 45 is the next one, and that is where you can just get both. You get a standard and a variant cover along with everything else. And then $50, and I think that's the last tier, which is you get everything as well as your name printed in the special thanks section of the comic. And that is the diamond tier, yes, diamond tier. And so that's where it goes up to.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and so yeah, my focus too was to try and keep in a sense for myself, keep the rewards simple so they're easy to print and create. And also still to just make it as straightforward as possible. In a lot of ways, I thought of like if I was backing a Kickstarter, what would I want to look for, and what are kind of the options I would want to see. Because sometimes you might back a Kickstarter, you see it on the fly, and you'd be like, well, I just want the physical copy. I like physical because I'm old school. I don't like reading digital. So I'm like, yeah, I want something where I can just get the physical copy. So that's where the $15 one comes in. And then maybe you want other extra things, then yeah, you can pick one of the higher ones.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I really do like the layout of the Kickstarter. It's really fun to look at. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, good. Oh man, hey, that's all Canva.
Oh, that's awesome. And yeah. I wanted to talk about the custom pocket notebook. I think that's really cool. What inspired you to add that as like a Kickstarter like reward?
For sure. For me, I love pocket notebooks. I wish I don't have any on my desk right now, but one time my mom made me like these little mini, like they're smaller than the one that's on the Kickstarter, but my mom made me these little mini notebooks, and she put like Harry Potter stickers on them. Yeah. It's very cute. And I love that, and I love just having a pocket notebook, even just for me as a writer. I want to be able to take notes anywhere I am. And also, yeah, I thought it'd just be different. Because I guess like again, like I was trying to also think of like if it were me, what kind of rewards would I want to get? And that was one I would like personally be interested in. And again, as to like keeping the rewards more straightforward and simple, it was like I know some comics do like T-shirts offer as a reward, but those can be like the priciest and more kind of difficult ones to make. And normally, when I've seen other Kickstarters, not too many people pledge for those. So I wanted to like avoid that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like if it were me, it's like I probably wouldn't get a T-shirt of the comic unless I was like a well-known property or I was a long-term fan. But yeah, pocket notebook was kind of just like a personal for me. And then having seen other like companies put their logo on notebooks that they might give out at events, I thought that would be kind of fun and also something practical that people can enjoy.
Yeah, of course, definitely. And I wanted to say for the people that want to back the Kickstarter, as we're talking about it now, I put the link there just because I couldn't share at this current moment. But
no worries, thank you.
Make sure you guys go support. I've seen Kickstarters get funded. This has to be funded, please, guys. Please, guys. I promise you won't regret it. Right now, they're currently at 1,130 of their 2,500 goal. They have a little bit less than a week, so please, I encourage you guys to continue supporting. Thanks to those that have support, but please go back to Kickstarter. I definitely need the project to come to life. Well, it's already there, but to make sure that it,
yeah, right. Yeah, no, thank you so much. I don't know if I should say this, but even if we don't reach the funding goal, I've already kind of got a plan B in mind. Because like the thing is, I just want this comic to be printed and I want to exist. And also selfishly, I want to hold it in my own hands so bad. And then also anyone who wants it, I want them to be able to have a copy and hold it in their hands and read it. That to me is the ultimate satisfaction. I like Kickstarter as a platform. I think it was a good way to kind of, it pushed me to do a lot more content creation to try and get it out there. It's a well-known platform, and I've had a few people, I think, just discover it on the discovery page. So it was just one method I was trying. I'm hoping it works, but if it doesn't, I have a plan B because I want this comic to exist no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. And definitely, not only do you have this project, well, it's two projects, even though this one has a Kickstarter. So the other project that you have is Monster Rogue. So it's like a cross between Pokemon meets Dungeons and Dragons. So definitely, I want you to talk about that because whereas Minecraft is the comic, this is the graphic novel, which is on a project. So definitely, you can talk about it now.
Sure. Yeah, Monster Rogue is in production. It's further behind than Minecraft. I actually got inspired to do this one last October when I was on vacation, and like I said, I had time to think and breathe and do creative stuff again. And but yeah, so the story of that one, it's really meant to be a fantasy slice of life um story, and yeah, I wanted it to be a graphic novel because I had more I had like more stuff I wanted to put in it. And so I thought it'd be a good challenge, like have one that's a single issue and one that's a graphic novel, like have two different kind of formats. And but it's about a young girl named Bo who is an apprentice, and she has her little monster partner named Puri, and they just passed their like test from their master, and so now they get to take on jobs. And rogues get to take on kind of various jobs, like whatever is available. Sometimes it could be bodyguard work, it could be delivering official papers, it could be anything. And so Bo is ready for that life of adventure. But her first gig, for at least for the first chapter, is not one of adventure. So she's very disappointed. But she still has to complete the job and prove herself to be a rogue. So it's just like a collection of little episode stories of them throughout. I'm still planning whether it's going to stay that way or maybe eventually kind of lead to a bigger story. But some of the shorter episodes kind of connect together, create a thing. But yeah, so again, it was inspired by like a lot of isekai fantasy slice of life. Like what's the one? Where like the one girl is like, I maxed out my level as a witch or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's just like her she's just living her life, and then all these different like species and characters, and they all just kind of like live together. I was like, this is so calming. And it's just how my tastes have evolved as I've gotten older. Before, when I was younger, I liked the fantasy adventure, and now I like even killed like chill anime.
No, yeah, I agree. Sometimes when there's like that really like wholesome, like there's enough going
Yeah,
on, but
wholesome.
it's like wholesome. Like they have some of the cooking ones. Like I think
Mhm.
I forget the one is with the guy where like he goes to another world, but he knows how to cook and he cooks all these different dishes. I'm trying to
I
remember
think
the
it's
name of
that.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
and like delicious in a dungeon, and there's like the campfire one where they like do like different recipes and they
Yes,
share
yes.
the recipes. Like those are nice sometimes to like just
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah. So yeah, those are kind of the inspiring ones that inspired me. And what else do I want to say about that story? So for that one, kind of where it started was, of course, Makeshift was my primary project, but I was like, well, what do I want to do next? And then it's like, well, depending on how long it takes for like Makeshift to go on as a story, it's like, am I going to wait till I finish to then do the next project? That could take a while. I was like, so what if I just push it and try to get a second project going, and then at least you have one, even when one's done, you have another one kind of ready to go. And so that's where it got started. And actually, I have the book with me right here. And the artist I'm working with for that is named Taz Mechanic. And I found them because they had published their own book, which I bought
Yeah.
at my comic store. And I liked it was a cute story. I loved the art. And on a whim, I just like reached out and I was like, "Hey, like, would you be interested? Like, I'm doing this project. Do you have a page rate? I'm just inquiring right now. Let me see." And yeah, they responded really quickly, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, fine, let's do it. Fine." Um, so yeah, I found this artist from their book, which they had published themselves, or I think through a publishing company, Penguin.
Hmm.
I think, yeah,
That's awesome. And I'm
yeah.
kind of excited. I'm excited for both projects, and I'm glad that you're able to like do both of the projects. And I would ask,
Okay, yeah.
how? So a question I asked is about support in the community and our community, and I asked, what do we do well to support each other so
Mhm.
far? What can we do better, to go in a better direction within the community when it comes to supporting each other? I asked this because everybody has had like different input. Everybody's been in different parts of the community, and they have their own takes on that.
Yeah. And like the indie comic space in general, you mean?
Yeah, so it could be any part, like, because everybody's in different parts. People have said generally, people have said based on what they do in the community, like whatever your
Yeah.
experience is.
Yeah. What can we do differently? Trying to think. I think support each other. That's a good question. What can we do to support each other differently? Because I mean, obviously, of course, sharing each other's stuff on social media is helpful. Whether it's a repost or just liking it, because I think, like, especially even just liking it, because now Instagram will kind of show other people what you've liked, and so that people will see that in their feed. I think I think sharing resources in a way, not little resources per se, but connections, things, make sure to, like, if you got in touch with um someone who helped you do something, especially business wise, because business is always the trickiest part, especially for creative business. I think sharing resources with each other. So it's like, if you found a great website that helped you do this thing more cheaply, affordably, share it. Let people know. And also too, because everybody's always wondering what's the process, and we're all wondering, am I doing this right? Am I on the right track? And so, kind of seeing one that other people are in the same boat as you, but also they found a solution or a resource, and then you can quickly go to that website and find yourself, is really helpful. That's the main one, because I mean, I of course it's support your fellow indie artists and buy their stuff. Buy their stuff if you can, but I also don't want people to feel like obligated, because sometimes you like what you like, and maybe you don't want to. Maybe you're not buying it because it's just not your type of thing. It might not be your kind of comic or story, but yeah, I mean, where you can buy their comic, or find people who would like it, pass it on. Word of mouth. I think word of mouth is becoming a lot more important now, even in this digital age. Yes, I think mainly sharing resources, especially on the business side of things, and where you can, like, either purchase someone's stuff or give it views. Because I have a friend right now, actually, who he's in a contest, and on, I forget which website, but his thing is like in second place now, and so it's just like, go view it, and the more views it gets, I think that bumps up the place it's in. So just something like that, especially if it's just views, because that doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
That would be off the top of my head. Yeah, that's off the top of my head. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I like asking the question because I guess it makes people think.
Yeah, it does. Because I struggle with it, because I feel like from you, as well as some other creatives like Melanin Minds. I think you also follow each other. You guys have been really supportive in sharing and reposting my stuff so far since I've met you guys, and so it's like, you guys have already done, and it's like, I can't ask for more than that. It's like anything else. It's like, it's still on me to push it out there and get it out there, not just be like, well, why is no one promoting my stuff for me? So in that regard, it's like, I feel like the indie community is doing pretty well in supporting each other. So I can't suggest anything else just yet.
Oh yeah, of course.
I found them to be very supportive.
Welcome to my one of my good people, from the Free Village. Hi, Clutch.
Hello.
But yeah, definitely. I appreciate your response to that. It's just because one of the premises of me starting the show was just because everybody has had such, like, it's either drastic or the same experiences when it comes to the community, and it encouraged me to have that dialogue, because sometimes when it comes to collaboration and stuff like that, we're a little scared to talk about it in platforms like this. So I felt like this was a safe space to do that, because people don't feel like they're going to be judged or canceled. As you could say. In the beginning, some people felt like they were going to be, but I said, no, we don't do that here. So, like, we haven't had to worry about that. So.
For sure. Well, I mean, just what you're doing now is that you are taking the time, not only using your own platform, your audience, to give other create, like, you just gave me this whole space to talk about my comics and my projects. Especially that you offered that up is amazing, for one, and not something to be taken for granted, because if I wanted this kind of major exposure in any other way, I'd be paying for it. Like, you have to pay for that level of marketing. So I think gratitude, I think also too, for any creators on both, like on my end, where we're coming on your show, hopefully make sure to show enough gratitude and appreciation for people like you who are just offering to do this for free, because it's just free marketing right here. It's amazing. So appreciate it on so many levels. You, like any other company, you want them to market stuff for you, you're paying like 5,000, 10 grand or more. So
I appreciate you guys. And I wanted to ask you, between your Monster Road, Makeshift, and everything that you're doing, what are some of the goals that you have? It could be long term, short term, whatever you want to share. I know that sometimes it's hard.
It's like, no, it's a big question because there's so many ideas, so many. First is to get them their series, so get them one stable to a place. Short-term goal: get the second book out for both of them. Get issue 2 out for Makeshift. Get book 2 out for Monster Rogue, and then get them hopefully to a place where they are like making enough money that they start to fund themselves, and so it funds the next issue. So getting to a stable, sustainable place where they're actually generating, and all that money just goes right back into producing the next book and compensating the artists with that. And then, of course, to go on to the next project, I would love to do, God, on top of my list, I want to do a manga, like, next. I want to write a manga, which is so cool. So, and just build and get a series, get a library of work going, so produce more new stories and come up with new things. That's the starting point right now. So get these series mainly off the ground, at least get them to a sequel for each one, and then hopefully they become self-sustaining enough that like they can produce the next book and the next book until they're completely finished them, and then of course build a library of all kinds of stories and tell other kinds.
Definitely. And something that you touched upon earlier on in the show, which I also was curious about, because when it comes to like IPs and copyright, and like when you're creating your own version of something that was already created, because this is your own story, like from what I've seen, is like you take like the aspects of it, but you make it your own. It's amazing. The story is amazing. But you were talking about like between like Mojang and like the requirements of like if you're making your own and like you're publishing, what are some of the requirements? And I feel like it's important if you can share like what some of those requirements were that you have to be mindful of, because I feel like it will help other people, even like the people that make fanfics, because they may not know, and then they post and then they can get in trouble for it.
Right, of course. So for one, on my Kickstarter page, I actually put a link to the Mojang site where they list out what the requirements are. So definitely just, if you're gonna go check that out, if you're curious and you want to make your own Minecraft story, find that. Main thing with Mojang, their big thing is don't use the Minecraft logo or any of their official artwork or promo artwork like that. Anything like, I guess that's their assets. Don't want to use it. Don't use Minecraft as your primary title. Make it, I don't think they explicitly said like make it clear that your work isn't associated with them, but I've seen a lot of, when I look through a lot of the unofficial books, they say like an unofficial Minecraft whatever. So they make sure to say that on like the cover, and then they also even repeat like a disclaimer inside the book with all the copyright information. That was that the main thing? Yeah, it's mainly just don't use their branding, don't use the Minecraft logo as prominent, so it probably doesn't confuse people thinking it's theirs. Make sure it's your own original content. You are allowed to use like your own screenshots from the game. They're like totally cool with that. They're very generous with the leeway they give people to create fan stuff. But yeah, make sure it's your own original story, your own artwork. I don't know if that means like you can't use Steve or Alex, because I guess those are their official characters. Yeah, I don't think, or maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe you can. I haven't tried it. I wasn't interested in using Steve. I wanted to do my own character. So, But yeah, I think yeah, check out their page, see what they're saying. Their guidelines are pretty straightforward. They're very cool. And then even go to like Amazon and type unofficial Minecraft comic and see what other people have done, because other people have published and are selling their own Minecraft stories, and maybe some of them have used like Steve or Alex in their thing. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very helpful. I mean, me personally, I love hearing about these things because, like, as artists,
Yeah.
we always run into that, or sometimes we have our own experiences. So I like when people share it because people don't know, honestly, especially like when you go
Yeah.
to conventions. You
Mhm.
run into that issue of like, where's this fandom? Where's this fandom? Where's the fandom? Like, slow
Yeah.
down, like slow down. There's a whole process. For those that may not know, there's certain conventions where you're not allowed certain things, and you have to.
Mhm.
It has to be original slash. It can be fandom. Some don't.
Mhm.
Some want like certain. Like if you took it certain inspirations that the artist is there if it's not completely your work. Um,
Mhm.
or some they completely like fan art is okay. Just make sure it's not like licensed. Like you didn't copy
Right.
it. And some they want you to have a ratio. Some are like 25% fan art and then 75%
Mhm.
original, or some are 50-50. I don't think people know
Okay.
that, but that's sometimes the reason why not everything on the table is like of your favorite fandom. Because some
I
people are
didn't know
trying to
that.
follow. Yeah, some people are trying to follow the guidelines. Like some are very like they're just like Mojang, like they're not strict on it, but like sometimes like I think LA Expo and like Anime NYC they can be. You just gotta be mindful.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I mean I'm sure the biggest reservation probably people have with Minecraft was because years ago a big YouTuber was trying to crowdfund for a Minecraft like fan movie, or trying to make his own Minecraft movie, and Mojang shut it down. They're like, nah. And I think it raised like close to half a million or something. So it was like a big deal, and it's still on Kickstarter because I think it failed or it succeeded, but the page is still on Kickstarter. You can find it, and so that was probably before Mojang even established their own guidelines, because I think they have guidelines for different things, not just publications, but for I think music, for hosting servers, whichever wherever you're falling into what you want to make, just check their guidelines. But yeah, I mean it's amazing that they do that, because I mean I grew up writing fan fiction. That's probably where all my practice came from. So for me it's like a dream come true. I'm like I get to publish my own fanfic. And I just found it. There's like an Avatar: The Last Airbender comic
Yeah.
on Kickstarter right now. And I was like, oh, does
Oh,
Avatar have some leeway too that lets fans do that? I'm like, so
I hope
what's
so.
going on there?
I
I hope
hope so.
so. So
But
just
yeah.
just check to see which places allow. I know, of course, I grew up when a lot of at least writing like book authors were like hate fanfics. Like, no, that's not okay. I'm like, dude, it's not like it's fun, and you're taking that way too seriously, and they consider it like it's not real writing. But I think fanfic writers have a very interesting challenge, like
Yeah.
maybe even more so than just original authors. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty funny.
I think it's pretty cool as well. And one thing I just like that you talked about is like how in comics and manga, like characters get new outfits, and for you, you definitely want like your main character to have like different outfits. I wanted you to talk about that because you do kind of like show the clips where it's like she like you see that you're trying to like do the changes, but like definitely talk about like type of upgrades you want to give your main character and make sure.
Ooh, upgrades. So the outfit changes. That was mostly kind of a joke, but it was kind of true, because when she first the first few pages, which you can see, which are there, she's in like the standard Steve colors, like the blue shirt, blue pants, like that's the Steve outfit, as I call it. And I like that. I'm like, I want her to spawn in that, because she's like, it's kind of hinting like, hey, this is a new person, they don't know what they're doing. And then a little bit later in the first issue, her outfit changes, and I think she says she's been like surviving in the world for like a week. And so I wanted the outfit to show like, hey, this character's grown, matured, they kind of figured out how to survive in this world. But she's still like, I think her weapons are still, I think, either stone or wood, so they're not upgraded yet. And so that's what I want to say. I want to see her outfit probably won't change as much later, but for sure her weapon and tools will get upgraded, because that's what happens in the game. You get better tools. And I love that. I mean, I think that's fun for me. It's just like I love seeing what the artists come up with and the character designs. for that. But yeah, that is a satisfying part of anime is when I love the time skips. Because sometimes if it's a show I haven't seen in a while and I find out there's a time skip, I want to see what the new designs look like.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely true. That definitely is true. And though I don't get to watch One Piece as much, I will
Right, that's
credit
the
what's
one.
due to Egghead. Like they're doing something with that. Like after like how many decades they were like, yeah, okay, we're gonna cook on these new designs. So I give them credit for
Yeah.
that. They're pretty cool. So
Yeah, and I mean, I think most, even manga that shows and manga that aren't as long as One Piece, they do that. There's like that
yeah.
moment where the character, it's kind of like the character goes to the dark night of the soul,
Mhm.
and then once they come through and they're ready to take on like a big battle, they like get an upgrade of all this like cool weapons and shit against the bad guy, and I think like that's amazing. It's so cool. They're like, oh, this is what you get now, and this is what it can do. It can deflect this. I'm like, oh, I want to see this in action. So that's fun. It's fun to play with that in comics.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And one of the last questions I'm going to ask you is, how has this journey been on? How has it helped you as a person? It could be in any aspect that it can help you out as a person.
As a person, oh my goodness. It's taught me patience. I am a very impatient person. I just like I want to go, go, go and do things. And when I have an idea, I want to like I think it's be great. Like I at least gotta like throw it out there and see what happens. Or
Yeah.
like when I found like Monster Rogue was kind of an impulsive
Mm.
jump into that because I was like, let me just inquire.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, this would be cool. Let me just ask. And then next thing I know, I'm like, okay, yeah. And then we started talking. I'm like, you know what? Let's go. And I want to get this in production. I want to start it. And then of course I'm like, okay, how do I afford this? But I still like that. It's like just try it, just start and kind of you have a loose plan, but you can figure it out later. Um, other ways it's changed me is it's yeah, patience mainly, and to just not give up. Like delayed gratification is also a hard lesson to learn because you can be trying to do everything right and putting all this work and it's not getting you results the very next day. And it's very easy to just be like, am I wasting my time? Should I give up? Is it time to move on? But it's only been like a day. Gotta give it. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks, it takes a couple months. Nothing might happen till next year, but you have to keep laying like those little foundations, building it up and just sticking with it. And yeah, being consistent and just doing the boring stuff. That's the biggest thing too. Is a lot of fitness and a lot of comic related things are boring, but they're important. And there's just those little baby steps that actually get you further along that you won't see it until like the results come. And it's something like seem like nothing is happening and then everything will happen all at once. And I've experienced that so many times. So I believe that and just like don't give up. Like a lot of people give up right before it was gonna take off, maybe the next day or the next week. And so it's like just push a little longer.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And is that the only? Yeah, mainly that's changed. And also it's just taught me, and I feel like everyone should go through this, is just to trust yourself more. Like just trust yourself more. Be willing to take that risk. And I had talked about this in a recent video, but sometimes you got to tune people out, and you have to just because people don't know what you're trying to accomplish. They don't know your vision. They might not be going the same direction as you, and so their opinions. It's like how can you get direction from someone who's never been where you're trying to go? And so sometimes you just got to be tunnel vision and just stick with it and grind it out and trust your own voice. And you have to be flexible and adaptable, but stick to your own path, regardless of what people think.
No, yeah, that's definitely important, especially the last part you said. Definitely a reminder for all of us, actually.
Yeah, especially creatives, because I mean, every creative's probably had it where their parents wanted them to be a doctor or a lawyer, and instead you're like, I want to go make comics, and they're so not on board with that. But yeah, man. And so I'm sure that's like the typical creative story of all creatives.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, you have to do it for, and it's just important. You have to do it for yourself, and you have to do it because you have to live with it. If you just do what other people want just to please them, you're the one who has to live with those consequences. They got no skin in the game whether or not you do this and fail at it, or whether you go chase your dream and you're happy or not. It's funny. Some people like take it like a personal offense that you didn't go do what they expected, but it's like it doesn't technically impact them one way or another. You going your own pathway, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, people just feel like you need, like, it's really they want you to go along with what they do because it'll justify their life choices, and you don't need to worry about that. That's their life choices.
No, yeah, I definitely understand that because coming from somebody that has their day job in something that's completely out of what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I work in STEM. I work as a lab tech.
Oh wow, okay.
So that's a whole other world compared to the creative space. And my dad's an architect, my mom's a nurse, and everything like that. So they are very supportive. But I get where you're saying, where sometimes you're trying to explain the creative thing you're doing on the side, and like they're trying to understand. You don't know if they actually fully understand. They're very supportive though, and especially when I'm talking about AnimeInkArt.
Yeah.
That's the funny story I don't share, because for my parents and for most people, I say I'm doing an interview, and while that's very true, I think they're thinking like the normal thing you think of interview.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll ask me, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm still speaking with this creator, that creator, and I'll like try to explain in like I guess like a hodgepodge, like basic answer to explain. I kind of have to
Yes.
show them my YouTube channel or Instagram for them to understand, like what I'm actually saying.
Exactly. Yeah, it can be people like, one, they don't understand it. Either they don't get it until maybe there's a moment, or unless it becomes successful when there's money in it. Then they're like, this is great. Like, because the big concern is like they just want to make sure that you are stable and have a living or something. And that's it's just how like most, or they see that enough people are like, you have like a million followers, and they're like, oh, okay, this is great, this is a good idea, and then they're on the bandwagon because they saw all this other proof first. And yeah, that's the big thing. You have to be able to stick to your journey when there's no proof. That's like that delusion. Like, there's no hints or clues that it's going to be successful, but you still like stay on it just in case. So yeah, you have to. Because when it's successful, then you can make everybody eat their words. Um, and so, or if it's successful, then everybody will be cheering for you. Like, oh, we're so happy. We always knew you could do it. And it's like, no, you didn't. You did not. Most of you. No, you didn't. Um, yeah. But they're not going to say that if it doesn't become successful. And if you don't stick with it, you don't know if it'll be successful.
Definitely true. And again, it was a pleasure having you, talking about everything.
Thank you.
Hopefully you had a good time. I want to give you this time.
I
did. I want you to take this time out for people to tell them where you want them to follow you, keep up with everything you do.
Sure. Oh boy. Follow me on Instagram. I'll start there. You can also find me on YouTube, trying to make more YouTube vlogs, which is the same, I think, GagbodJan or Georgia A. You can find that on YouTube. I'll start with those. I just make a TikTok, but you can start with Instagram or YouTube. We'll do that. And then, of course, go check out the Kickstarter.
Definitely. So I'm definitely going to put the Kickstarter back up for people that didn't get to see it the first time. And just as a playback. So, excuse the thunder if you can see, if you can hear it. But
anyway, is it raining?
It's been raining for about half an hour.
But it's hot. It's hot and it's raining.
I just looked over for a second. I'm like, that's not my priority. But, yeah, definitely check out the Kickstarter. The link is right there. Definitely check them out, like I said, on YouTube and Instagram. And I appreciate you guys coming back here on the way that it's supposed to be for the show. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Followed on Instagram when we had our PC trouble. But definitely, for those that don't know what I do, I guess long story short, my name is Lizzie. I started AnimeInkArt as a way to show my background. That's like my art. I do anime related art. I digitally draw and digitally edit to make my own style. We're getting back into that. This year was more so doing all the other things that we do for AnimeInkArt Live Talks, we also had to get a new car. So vending wasn't part of it, but we have gone back to commissions as well. So shout out to people that have been able to commission me. And if you want to commission, definitely go to our Instagram page. That's where you'll see the majority of the stuff that we do for our brand, between the art, between our podcasting, between we also cosplay as well. So I usually don't remember to do this part, but definitely I'll put my Instagram there so people can go to it. That's the main. This is the main one where you can go to everything. The link tree is in the bio, so if you want to see the Shopify store or to be part of the show, because the show started in 2023. It was an extension of what I was already doing. I was already supporting people, sharing creators on my page, but it was on my main page with my other content, and I was sharing in stories, and I was sharing all the links that people can go for each creator. I called it AnimeInkArt Black Brand Spotlight. I was doing it for years before I decided to do AnimeInkArt Live Talks. It was a way to try to be more personable, talk with the people that I've like networked over the years, and then it grew to what it is now. We have a panel that we're hoping to bring to other conventions. Thank you to Capital City Anime Fest. We did AnimeInkArt Live Talks interactive podcast experience. So kind of like what we do here, but some of the topics that we don't get to talk about in the community or issues, it's like an open platform for me to ask and people to give feedback, and then I just listen to them instead of me just yapping for however long they give me for a panel. So definitely, if there's any conventions you want me to take that to, definitely let me know. I also cosplay as well. Shout out to Otaku Noir. We were the cosplay model for them for um, their uh, their cosplay calendar. That's my cosplay is black, so all black cosplayers they highlight. But their business is for mystery boxes. So think like your favorite things about Loot Crate boxes, but they're all curated from the Blur community. And I was able to have art in their Sirens box that came out in June. So I have stickers for it. It was based on all Black women creators, R&B inspired, like for the month of like R&B month, as well as Mami Wata. She's a deity. She's kind of like a mermaid siren that she's known in African folklore. So definitely, if you go to the Taka Noir website, there's still some boxes available if you want to support, that drop that came out. You can check in their website. I'll put the website here. You can go to like previous unboxings. If you go to Sirens, you'll see my art that I did as well, and you can support by buying it as well. If you use code AnimeInkArt, you should get free shipping off your order, so that's perfectly fine and great. I'm very grateful to have that opportunity. As well as we do volunteer with Critical Care Comics. I will put their link because I'm trying to make sure I support everybody and shout out everybody that I work with. So Critical Care Comics is an organization where they give toys and comics to children in the hospitals. I am an agent in the New York chapter. We're expanding. We just had interviews for new hires, new people that want to be part of the organization. So pretty much you can be a hero. You dress up as Marvel and DC characters, greet the children, or you can be a regular volunteer, which is known as an agent. So definitely, if you want to go to their website, make sure this is the organization name for those that are interested in Critical Care Comics. And they also have their website where you can sign up to be a member, or you can donate to their cancer fund. So we're looking for more people. So we've been trying to table at conventions. So shout out to Annie Tomocon. We'll be vending there. July is going to be pretty busy between going to DreamCon. Once we come back from DreamCon that same week on July 18th, they'll be at Japan Village. We'll be going to AniTomoCon. So I'll share their Instagram page. So definitely, if you want to go to AniTomoCon, the great thing about it, if you're in New York, it is a free anime convention, meaning that you don't have to pay. It's one of the largest free anime conventions in the New York area. So definitely check them out on Instagram. Support us if you want to learn more about Critical Care Comics. And yeah, we do a plethora of things, so definitely check out our page. And we love to support you guys. We love to do what we do. And yeah, we'll let you know when the next show is, but we have 5 days until DreamCon, so we have to lock in. So definitely, I will see you guys at DreamCon. If you see me, say hi. I won't bite. Guide me if you can. It's my first DreamCon, so definitely, yeah. I love you guys, and with that, we're signing off.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome.